The Locked On Podcast Network presents the NBA Big 3 in 30. The 3 biggest stories in the NBA from our local experts at the Locked On Podcast Network. We bring you the real story, why it matters, what's next, who wins the big game, and more, all in 30 minutes. The NBA Big 3 in 30 starts now with the biggest stories in the NBA.
A stunning offensive performance, and one player makes the difference for this Orlando Magic team.
You are Locked On Magic, your daily Orlando Magic podcast.
Honestly, I talked yesterday about how the Orlando Magic are a good offensive team. And trying to get you comfortable with the idea that the Magic are a top 10 offensive team. They entered Tuesday's game top 10 in offensive rating. And certainly after what they did on Tuesday, they're still in the top 10 in offensive rating. I still cannot fathom. I am still, my jaw, the game ended an hour ago as I'm recording this. And my jaw is still on the floor thinking about just how good the Magic were in this game. And they started 7 for 21 from the floor and 0 for 7 from 3. The Magic set several records. Their 86 first half points were the most points they've scored in a half in franchise history, topping, I think it was 83 from the Scott Skiles 30 assist point game. That is still the record for most points in the game at 155. They scored the most points they've ever scored in a quarter with 51 in that second quarter. They had the fifth highest scoring game in franchise history. They had 9 players scoring double figures, a franchise record. They had a 137.1 offensive rating, which is the season high. They've had their 3 best offensive games in the last 3 games, in the last 3 outings. They led by as much as 46. And I get NBA Cup shenanigans. Again, the Magic are benefiting from this, but I will continue to say that the NBA should cap the point differential at 20. This shouldn't have been a thing. The Magic should have sat their players sooner than they did, but we'll explain at the end of the show why they actually ran up the score and why that's going to be a good thing for them. This was as insane an offensive performance that we have seen from this Magic team. And the fact of the matter is they've got 5 straight games, another record, 5 straight games scoring 120 or more points. That is a franchise record. And again, this is a team that had Shaq, had Penny, had Dwight, had some really good offensive teams. This is the team, a team that hasn't been outside the bottom 10 in offensive rating since 2012 for 13 years, for nearly a decade and a half. We aren't used to the ball going through the hoop like this. Like that's the point of this game, right? And right now, it just all feels so smooth. Like that there's a reason why, and I addressed this yesterday, so go listen to yesterday's podcast if you didn't hear this. There's a reason why people have this feeling like, oh, is Paolo going to mess this up? He's not. He's going to add to it. He's going to make it better. Although it's hard to imagine anything being better than this because the Magic had a 153.1 offensive rating with Desmond Bane on the floor. That's insane. The Magic had a 154 offensive rating with Anthony Black on the floor. This is real. Like, are the Magic going to score 140 points every night? No, that's not going to happen. The Sixers were extremely depleted by injuries. The Magic were extremely dialed in. The Magic put the hammer down 51-26 second quarter, took the game out, put the game completely out of reach, ended all hope early in the third. They came out ready to play with intensity and focus that shows that they're cup respecters. Again, say what you want about the NBA Cup, and we're going to talk about the NBA Cup because I'm a cup respecter. They are cup respecters. They want to win this thing. And this was as clinical and as dominant of a game that we've seen from any Magic team ever. Because not only did the Magic have a 137.1 offensive rating, they had a 96.3 defensive rating. They shut down the Sixers. In the first half, if my stats will load, I don't know if they're going to load. Okay, they're not going to load. The Magic just, again, I don't have words. I don't have words for how good this team plays. All I have is the one player that is the engine for all of this. And look, it's Franz Wagner. It's Desmond Bane. It's everybody. But no player symbolizes the difference and the shift in how the Magic are playing and what constitutes success quite like Anthony Black. And on a national stage, on the national television game of the week here on the East Coast, Lakers Clippers is going on the West Coast. Sorry, West Coast, you missed out on a fun one. On a national stage in a big moment, it was Anthony Black's turn on the roulette wheel, so to speak. And he delivered a crushing blow. He delivered a game that was, again, just downright impressive. Black scored a career high 31 points, 20 of them in the second quarter. He shot 12 of 17, 4 for 6 from 3, 3 for 4 from the foul line. I know I mentioned this stat a million times already. The Magic or Anthony Black entering tonight's game, or entering Tuesday's game, Anthony Black shot 37% from 3 in the Magic's wins. He shoots 25% in their losses. There's no stat that correlates more to the Magic's success than Anthony Black's three-point shooting. And it's not because, Anthony Black makes shots when they win and misses shots when they lose. No, it is a mindset. It is an aggressive mindset. It is a confident mindset. We know what the starters are going to do. And we'll do box score stuff here in a minute and get to everybody else. Because everybody played well. Even Tyus Jones. Everybody played well. But Anthony Black, what he does when he's aggressive, when he's looking to get downhill, when he's looking to make plays, it changes the whole tenor of the team. It changes how everybody plays. Just like when he is sort of the offensive bellwether, the same way Jalen Suggs is the defensive bellwether. When Jalen Suggs is doing Jalen Suggs things, everybody comes along for the ride.
The NFL season is rolling along, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for the weekend with this can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I love using FanDuel because it fits how I like to bet. Player props, building a same-game parlay, or even jumping in live as the action unfolds. It's quick, it's easy, and it's the best way to add a little more energy to your Sunday. So are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet.
Luka Doncic continues to torture the Los Angeles Clippers.
You are Locked On Lakers, your daily Los Angeles Lakers podcast.
It was a great night for the big three. It was, I thought, a good night for a lot of the supporting cast, but sticking on this theme of what Luka did tonight, just absolutely ripping the Clippers apart. You mentioned the 5 threes. I believe he had in the first quarter. He had 32 points at the half, 11 of 17 from the field, 6 of 10 from behind the arc, 4 of 5 at the line, plus 6 assists and 3 turnovers. Luka Doncic had 32 points at the half. The rest of the Lakers starters, 31. And it wasn't even one of those nights where it felt like one guy's doing all the scoring and the other guy's, all right, pick it up, pick it up. LeBron, Reeves, and Rui each had 9 at the half. So it's not like they were sitting on some really paltry number.
Efficient work, too. I mean,
everybody was the only 2 guys from the Lakers tonight that were among the rotation players that did not shoot 50% or higher from the field. Maxi Kleber, 1 of 3 from the field. Gabe Vincent, 0 of 2. Everybody else that was, regular rotation member in this game, 50% or higher. Going back to Luka, just crazy numbers from the Lakers, their media relations department. Luka tonight moved past Magic into 10th place for the Lakers' all-time list for 40-point regular season games. This is Luka's 7th 40-piece in purple and gold, which is pretty great in and of itself. It's also just his 41st regular season game as a Laker. That's staggering. He also, again, per the Lakers media relations department, 39 40-point double-doubles. He passed Anthony Davis, irony alert, for 4th most among active players and tied Magic for 6th most 40-point double-doubles as a Laker. He also tied Kobe and Shaq for most 40-point double-doubles as a Laker below the age of 27 since the NBA-ABA merger. He has 5 of those. And again, he is doing a lot of this work in very little time as a Laker. It's honestly staggering.
Just as a housekeeping note, getting a lot of notes from folks in the chat. This goes back, Luka's hatred of the Clippers goes back to the bubble, apparently. Bubble playoffs and some of the trash talking and taunting that went on from the Clippers towards the Mavs and among other things. So as we always say, any teams out there that want to make an enemy of Luka Doncic, we are here for it because an elephant.
We love you. Big hug to all of you. We love you.
Oh, petty Luka will tear you apart, and we're here for it.
Well, it tore Chris Dunn apart. We should make sure to mention it tore Chris Dunn apart. He got ejected in this game for kind of mushing the ball into Luka's chest. Luka took exception to, he said, like an elbow or something during a rebound.
Yeah, it was a shot in the back. It was the Dunn gave him trying to go get a rebound, and
back during a rebound that led to some words, and then Jackson Hayes swooping in to shove Chris Dunn out of the way. Jackson Hayes realizing this dude Luka could keep me a Laker for the rest of my career. You're damn right I'm being his bodyguard right now.
That's my meal ticket right there. And of course, as Dunn is being teed up and ejected, there's I think the technical term for the look on Luka's face was a bleep eating grin, and just phenomenal stuff from Luka. Overall, do need to let people know, by the way, that today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. But you noted this before, Andy. This was one of those nights because Luka went off in the first half, super efficient. Again, made his first 5 3-pointers, but it's not like the other guys were bystanders, and it's not like Luka was the only one scoring. The Lakers shot 60% as a team overall, and the starters shot 60%, and that's with Luka cooling off a little bit in the second half. But we have spent a lot of time over the last week talking about shooting, talking about efficiency, whether from Luka or the entire group. This was a game where offensively we got an understanding of what it looks like when starting with the big 3. Those guys are all shooting the ball efficiently. I will say the Lakers, very low volume from 3-point range on Tuesday night, aside from Luka, 7 of 12 from 3-point range, again, including hitting those first 5. Only LeBron even attempted 5 threes. So the Lakers got their work done at the free throw line. They made it there 26 times and inside the arc. And again, overall, 50 of 87 shooting and, well into the 60s from 2. But LeBron was 9 of 15. Austin was 11 of 16. When those 3 guys are that efficient, again, 9 of 15 from LeBron, 11 of 16 from Reeves 14 of 28 from Luka. When those three guys are as efficient as they were, the Lakers are going to score a lot of points. I can't vouch for what happens all the time on the defensive side, but offensively, they're going to score a lot of points, even in the absence of DeAndre Ayton, who
apparently DeAndre Ayton was the one bringing down the Lakers 3-point shooting, because the one game he doesn't play, the Lakers go ham from behind the arc. By the way, we got an update on DeAndre Ayton. It's a good one. The MRI showed nothing particularly worrisome. He is considered game to game. JJ expressed hope that he could be back sometime this week, which would either be Friday or, I guess, spilling into Sunday. But they don't seem particularly worried about Ayton being gone that long. And the Lakers, by the way, we talked about heading into this game. What are they going to do with Ivica Zubac and the glass? They did a good job on both counts. 10 boards, 10 points for Zubac. You can definitely live with that. The Lakers out-rebounded the Clippers 38-29. They also only had 11 turnovers in this game, so they limited damage on that front. It was also crazy, too. As hot as Luka clearly was to start this game from behind the arc, the Clippers did jaw-droppingly nothing to try to disrupt Luka's rhythm at all. Like, he was
kept looking at their bench going like, are you going to at least try to get the ball out of my hands?
Like he was stepping into these threes in rhythm, almost frankly walking into them. He was hitting these step backs without really having to do much leading up to it, like much dribbling at all. And as much as we talked about in a recent show, Luka's 3-point volume being very high, even by Luka's career averages, they're very high. And he has not been shooting the three particularly well this year. Austin's been in the same boat. Like, there have been times where it's felt like more judiciousness, particularly with the step back, has been needed. If teams are going to allow Luka to take step backs in that type of rhythm,
you're not going to bother guard. There's a difference between we're settling for a three, or we don't even get this possession going, I'm just going to take a three, or dribble, stagnant offense, nobody's moving kind of three. And okay, I'm Luka Doncic, and they're not guarding me threes. Those are threes you really kind of need to take.
The NFL season is rolling along, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for the weekend with this can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I love using FanDuel because it fits how I like to bet. Player props, building a same-game parlay, or even jumping in live as the action unfolds. It's quick, it's easy, and it's the best way to add a little more energy to your Sunday. So are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet.
In the month of November, the Washington Wizards have finally won a basketball game.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast.
AB, 14-game losing streak is over. Like, you and I can finally feel joy. Like, you remember the Isaiah Thomas? It feels like I got my joy back. It feels like we got our joy back right now.
The hat is back, Ben. I mean, this is a game that we didn't even go to. We were planning to go to, but if the team plays like this without us in Capital One in attendance, we will never go to a game again. I mean, Ben, 132-113, complete dominance in the first half. This Wizards team put up 45 in the first quarter. Corey Kispert looked like Stephen Curry out there. The Atlanta Hawks had no answer for him. I think the Wizards started 8 from beyond the arc. I mean, and this is kind of funny because last season this team beat the Atlanta Hawks twice, and you a couple hours before the tip-off, Ben, we found out that Keyshawn George was dealing with the illness and he'll be out for the game, and you're like, oh man, here we go. You don't have one of your best young players playing tonight. How are you going to figure out and win this game? Somehow, someway, this team, CJ McCollum, I mean vintage CJ McCollum, 46 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Ben, this is the CJ that the Wizards traded for, and you're just happy that the losing streak is over. There was some doubt, some fans thinking that they could break the streak of the franchise, and not only the franchise, but just NBA history in 28 losing 28 games in a row. But I mean, tonight, Ben, it was great. They win, and this is a win that you desperately need against a good Atlanta Hawks team as well. You love to see the fight in this team, man.
Absolutely. I would not have expected this team to get it done tonight. On this stage, the Wizards have won an NBA Cup.
How could I forget that? They won the first NBA Cup game. Let's go.
So it is crazy because you and I both were in the building today. I was tied up with some other things I had to tend to, so I couldn't get to Capital One Arena today. But the fact that we are talking about a win right now feels really good, and it feels like a great team win. And the reason the Wizards get it done, you shoot 50% from three in this game on 38 attempts. It's going to be pretty hard to lose a game when you make 19 threes in the contest. And yeah, I see the comment, we're not a part of like evil history right now. Yeah, it's a good feeling. And I think this was a really important win for this Wizards team to get from a morale standpoint. CJ McCollum on Instagram the other day, y'all got to get a win, man. 14 games in a row is crazy. And he responded to that guy's comment. He said, facts, we got to get a W. And today, a backpack effort for CJ McCollum. In 37 minutes, he puts up 46 points for the Wizards on 17 of 25 shooting, 10 of 13 from behind the arc. He was a plus 19 in the game. You mentioned Chris Middleton was a team best plus 34. So finally, a game where the veterans you bring in here in the offseason to help you compete a little bit more. That wasn't the case through the first 15, 16 games of the season for a lot of them, outside of a couple outliers. Tonight, the veterans were actually the difference. But you also got to look to Alex Sarr and his performance tonight. 27 and 11 for the former number 2 overall pick. He was a plus 30 on 11 of 15 shooting. An absolutely fantastic night for the Big Eiffel. This is a win where you feel like you can get your mojo back in terms of competitiveness. From a standpoint, because I said it the other night after the Chicago game, AB, I said it almost feels like an outlier from this standpoint that the Wizards were competitive in a basketball game and had a chance to win it against Chicago. Ultimately, they fell apart like they had in a couple of other games along that 14-game losing streak. But I said this kind of feels like an outlier because the Bulls mostly were shooting themselves in the foot for the majority of the game. Today, the Wizards were simply the better team. They came out with intensity. They came out on fire offensively. They defended really well in the first half. They only gave up 23 points in that first quarter. A 45-23 start to this game. We feel like, all right, we've seen this story before with this Wizards team. They start off hot. They find a quarter to fall apart. That was not the case. The second quarter, both teams even at 32. The Wizards outscored the Hawks 34-23. In the third quarter, some improvement there. Really only the fourth quarter is where the Wizards were kind of dominated in this game, but it was garbage time at that point. For once, we're not on the wrong side of the garbage time buckets.
I was scared. I was a little skeptical when I saw Luke Kennard was on the Hawks, and I remember he hit a 4-point play when he was with the Clippers, that game where they blew like a 30-plus point lead, and I was like, I got PTSD. I was like, there's no way they find a way to blow this game. But it was complete domination from the start. 25-8 start by the Wiz kids. Jalen Johnson didn't score. Their leading scorer, the Atlanta Hawks scorer, wasn't on the scoreboard until late in the second quarter. I think Sarr did a good job on Kristaps Porzingis. And overall, just amazing. Zachary Risauche had 17 points, and a lot of Atlanta Hawks fans are still hating on Alex Sarr because he didn't want to come here. But Sarr with 27-11. 4 stocks. You really love to see it. This kid looks so good in year 2, and it's just great for him to bounce back. You can see the difference between his first year and second year campaign. Night and day difference. Guys calling him a bust after a couple of Summer League games. I will never forget that. Chris Middleton, double-double, 10.7 rebounds, 12 assists. I don't know if that's a career high, but he was dishing it, and just an overall great team effort. 132 points, only giving up 113 on average. Give up 130 a game, so that's another W. But the bigger common theme, Ben, is that, or the bigger take is that this team, a morale win. That's what you need.
Yes.
And you're going up against Indiana, and there's a possibility where you can extend this win streak to 2.
We got to talk about this as well. You know, when you want to talk about morale and people trying to buy in from within the organization, how about MVP chance at Capital One Arena for Alex Sarr? And although it's like facetious to really give a guy like Alex Sarr MVP chance right now, obviously he's not the MVP of the league. But to Wizards fans that were out there starving to see the team succeed, to see the young guys get off the schneid of 14 games in a row, and for Sarr to be a focal point in the reason why, like, there's some great appreciation that those fans and the people that are dedicated, the people that are watching this stream right now, their time to fandom for this Wizards team, trying to justify the patience that comes with the agony of a full teardown, a full rebuild. Your number 2 overall pick in Alex Sarr was a massive reason why you won this game. He continues to get better and better as the season goes on. And to all the people in the building that were chanting MVP for Alex Sarr, I applaud you. Good job. You are a fantastic Wizards fan.
And this
That's
is a
what you
night,
like to
Ben,
see.
where the pajamas, Bub Carrington, the design. I mean, I think Bub should design pants for every game moving forward.
And Bub had a much better night than he had in really recent weeks. He put up 10 tonight, 6 assists, was a +4 in the game on 4 of 6 shooting, 2 of 3 from behind the arc. So a better, more confident looking night as well for Bub Carrington, which you love to see, Abdullah. And it just feels giddy. Like, I know we can come from a standpoint here where we're saying, like, look, we haven't been in this position since October 20th. We went a calendar month without this team winning a game. They didn't look competitive worth a damn in so many of them. And finally, the team can really feel a sense of, like, what is supposed to materialize in this year of the rebuild. You're going to lose a ton of games. And, in fact, the way the team's constructed, you're going to lose a lot of them by a lot of points. But you're supposed to see big-time flashes from your young players. You said you were going to be more competitive this season. And tonight was an example of where they really were more competitive. And you had the veterans in there, and I know, like, you don't necessarily need to see C.J. McCollum score 13 points in a game, or 13 points in the fourth quarter in a game that they've already won, but it was a night where he was hot, he was doing his thing. Chris Middleton was doing a lot of big-time stuff to get the win. I'm okay with it for tonight because I think this team really needed to get that feeling back of winning a basketball game. They needed to be reminded that it was possible to win a basketball game. I feel like this win was deeper than just winning the basketball game in terms of your wins and losses, because we know wins and losses do not matter for this team, but morale is the more important thing. I mean, we had people questioning what they're trying to build here because of how bad things had gotten over the course of the 14-game losing streak. A players-only meeting occurs because you get blown out by a terrible Brooklyn Nets team at home, and you say, I mean, what the hell is going on here? Like, are we seriously this bad? We can't be this bad, can we? These dudes are NBA players. They're trying to make a name for themselves. They're trying to win every single game. And tonight was a night where they made a statement saying, like, we need to really show who we are as a team. They looked deep within themselves and dug deep to get this win. They defended their asses off tonight. Man, it feels weird that it happened this way, but I'm damn happy that I can feel this way for the first time in so long. It's crazy that it took this long to see this Wizards team materialize and play a complete full 4 quarters and dominate a game to a win. Let's maybe see this a couple more times this year at some point, hopefully, AB.
I was actually flabbergasted. I mean, Chris Miller and Brandon Hayward, he was on the call. They were losing their minds. I mean, everyone was just shocked the way this team was shooting the ball from outside the arc. Now, granted, I don't think this is sustainable. I would love to see us shoot 50% from three-point line every single game moving forward and CJ McCollum have 40-point games, but there's going to be nights where CJ's going to be off, and some guys, the young guys, hopefully will step up. But tonight, CJ just said, hey, everyone, hop in my backpack, and I'm gonna break the skid. He was tired of the losing streak. Like you mentioned, you replied to that guy on Instagram saying enough is enough. Shout out to Jay, a guy who posted or commented on a community post saying the Wizards are going to win tonight. He has to be some form of a Wizard because that was amazing, predicting that. No one thought that the Wizards were going to find a way to win tonight without their best player in Keyshawn George, who's dealing with an illness. This is how you build culture. You want a team that we understand we're not going to win a lot of games. That you keep reiterating that. I'll keep mentioning that as well. But it's competing, and this Atlanta Hawks team got punched in the face today. They thought, hey, we're going to go into Capital One in a cup game, beat this team without their young best player. No. That was the opposite of what just happened. You get blown out by 19 points, and at one point you were down 35 points to this young Wizard squad. You gotta love it. Second win of the season. More to come. Go Wiz, man.